There's a reason that God puts stuff in your heart for how you feel about stuff. Bold Black girls, women in tech, all this stuff, those are passion, purpose things that I can't stop myself from caring about. It ain't like I'm just like, let me go out here and do charity work and stuff. It ain't that. I care. I can't not care.
Right.
Literally, I've been laid off of jobs because I can't shut the hell up about people being treated fairly and stuff like that. I can't stop myself. I'll be like, well, I'm just going to get fired. That's just what it's going to be. I'll sacrifice that.
Wow.
You know, find that thing. What is that thing that makes you mad to tears when when you see stuff happening and you be like, this pisses me, like, I don't like this. It's people who fighting for kids in foster care. It's kids that's fight, people that's fighting for all these other causes because it's something that is just
in them.
That is what we need to be leaning more into.
Yes.
Hello, and welcome to the Bold Black Girls podcast. I'm Aries.
And I am Kim.
And we're back in a current actual episode. I feel like we had so many we had guests, we had some pre-recorded kind of stuff that we had done. So, we had to catch y'all up. Like, stuff been going on. Things are happening.
In the words of Kiara Shear, it's happening. It is happening.
Things are happening. So we wanted to do a catch-up episode, kind of just, let y'all know what's going on with us.
Right. Today is daylight saving, so we're springing forward. We lost an hour.
I was in the bed the whole time, so I like that we do it on a Sunday because it was like I already wake up kind of early. Naturally.
Same.
So I was like looking, I'm like, oh, it's 8.
I woke up at
30. Which typically would have been like a 7:30 on a Sunday. Because I'm like, I wake up knowing that it's 8 o'clock service.
We go to virtual church together.
Yes. So I was like 8 o'clock service. And I was like, oh, he about to, as soon as I change church on, he was just getting up and starting. So it was perfect timing. The church started that. He don't start preaching till like 8:40, 8:30 something. So anyway, so I got up and I was like, oh, until you text me and said something about daylight savings, I didn't realize that it was
daylight. We talked about it yesterday.
I know, but I didn't think about it. And then I looked in the at the microwave and I was like, oh yeah.
It hasn't updated. I need to go update my clocks, the ones that didn't update.
I did my microwave and my oven.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, so anyway, I slept hard because we partied like some old ladies last night.
Fun yesterday. Okay, so shout out to our friend Carolyn.
Yes,
we love her.
We're celebrating her because she got a new job at a FANG company.
Get it, girl.
So it was like $signs.
So we planned this like a month in advance because we both have been booked and busy now that the world is kind of
that's how it is with friends now. Like you got to plan for next month.
Because you do. Like, don't get offended either. Like, girl, you really need to get on the calendar.
Yeah.
And so when we planned it, she was like, we can't meet any sooner. We were both like, no.
I'm out of town. I'm out of town for this. Yeah. So that worked out.
It really did. And we had a good time.
So they came over the house.
Yes.
And I had got a new car, right? So anyway, there was like, Kim was like, we're going to meet you at your house so we can ride in a new whip.
New whip.
So I was like, okay. So we rode in the car, went to this new place that we all had never been to, which was a good spot.
Cute little spot.
And had brunch, came back to the house. And I did a little charcuterie board.
Oh, baby, y'all. She hooked it up. Like,
even though they tried to downplay it at first, like, I'm not hungry. I'm like, whatever.
Because we are all on this journey.
We're all on trying to lose.
Listen, we all met at the gym.
Right.
We don't look like that
we
right
really
now.
don't. I was like, we got to get it together. But we had wine and drinks and we sat here and put some music on, dance, went back to our old Zumba class. It was a workout. She was
doing her ballet moves.
Kim was working it, teaching the class.
We was in here doing gymnastics.
It was a
handstand roll.
Carolyn's married. and we're not. So we were like,
keep it agile.
We were like, and when you get home, you need to make sure you get hook your husband up so he can let you come out with us more. You know, if he be like, yes, more time with the girls. So when you come home, you're happy.
Exactly.
So anyway, we were encouraging her. So when she got home, so we're gonna call Calvin this week and see what he said.
What's up?
Did she?
Because she had clear instructions. I hope she understood her assignment.
She had instructions. So anyway, we're good friends.
Yes.
You know, we're good girlfriends for the guys out there that want their chicks to hang around positive women.
Yes.
That's us. So we had fun. It was good times. I was like,
what? You know what? I liked it because we were in the house. We weren't out and about.
Yeah.
And we talked about everything.
We talked about our health. We talked about weight loss, fat loss in particular. Yes. Just finances, all kind of things that come up. And, you just
things you should talk to your girlfriends about, like, because I think that is something that's been taboo in the Black community.
Yeah.
Is not talking about finances.
Yeah.
And there are different strokes for everyone. You're at different journeys of life. Your experience of money is different, right?
Yeah.
So what you expect might be different from what I expect, etc. So it's good to hear different perspectives.
Yeah, it was good. And I think, like you said, it's healthy to have those conversations, with friends. Because we all have different sets of friends, And so it's like,
we talked about that too.
Talk about having your different sets of friends and how some you be like, I don't want to mix these friends over here. And then there's some that you can mix. You just got to learn which ones go where. That way you're not stressed about it. Some people be like, I don't deal with women because they be too much. Well, maybe you're mixing the wrong ones together. Maybe you need to have one-on-ones and then maybe 2 and 1, or whatever. So you just got to figure out what your friendship mix is.
Yep.
Because I think for us as Black women, our friendships are so key.
They really are. And when we went to brunch, we sat next to another group of Black women.
Yes.
A set of 3.
Yes. And they were like, okay. Like we all kind of, chimed in. It was funny. It was like all of us over at the other table.
And that's healthy, actually.
Yeah.
Like we need to, especially with the pandemic, we've been locked up, right? Some of us haven't come out. Some of us are in these streets, Carolyn.
Yes. But like I had went to Vegas for work like 2 weeks ago. And on the last day, I told my best friend from California to come out.
I love it.
And me and her went to go see Silk Sonic, because I was like, hey, I got tickets to Silk Sonic. You want to come? She live in California. So I'm like, it's the hop, skip, and a jump, exactly. For her. It's like us going to Houston or something.
Right.
And she was like, say less. Right. So she booked it. And wasn't even going to stay the whole day. Like she came that morning and was leaving to go to Orlando for some AKA stuff that night. So I was like, cool. So she was like, when she was at the hotel with me, putting her makeup on and everything, she was like, is it too much to ask? Like, my girlfriends are like lit, they're the ones we're doing this kind of stuff with. Like, is it too much to ask for like a guy that would be like, hey, I got tickets to Silk Sonic, pull up type of thing. And I said, girl, we ain't got time to worry about that. We just gonna keep taking care of each other,
And that's really what we have to do.
And that's just the reality of it. So then we went to Mr. Chow for dinner, like fancy, and she paid. And I was like, girl, you gonna pay? She was like, you taking me to concerts? I'm paying for our meal. We was just doing our thing.
See, and you know what I'm gonna tell you I like about Lauren too?
Yeah.
Friends who have a stash of cash too, they are ready.
Yes.
Like, when you call me, I'm ready. I don't want to have to call you and you be like, well, I gotta, wait till the 15th. I'm gonna tell you, quick tip, ladies, get you an account.
Yes.
For these spur of the moment, spontaneous moments. So when someone asks you, hey, do you want to go? You can just quick pay Zelle, Cash App, or however to send the money. Because people do not want to deal with people who are like, oh, well, can you just put it on your card and I'll pay you back?
Yeah. And but see, that's when you got to know when to stay in your lane. Like, because there were definitely times when I was the friend who didn't have it like that. And I'd be like, how much I'm going to need? So I could know in advance, when I was a little young whippersnapper.
Yes.
And I was hanging around some older girls, and they probably were like 5 years older than me. So they was what I wanted to be.
Right.
And be like, we're going to LA for the weekend and da-da-da. And shoot, they was having they little guy friends or whoever was ever paying for stuff. So I was over there with my little $100. Like, wait, how much do I need to have?
Good point. Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane, and let people know what your situation is. Exactly.
Because it might be a season of sitting down. Like people are like, oh, you have all this money. No, I don't go anywhere.
Exactly.
I'm at the house.
Save your money. And this is the type of stuff you can do when you ain't buying stuff that you don't need, for the most part. So, it's a way to do it in every situation. Mine just so happened to be, that I was already in Vegas for work. I only really paid for one day of my own in Vegas, right? Exactly. So one night in the hotel.
And guess what that's called?
I had already been paid. I got the group rate. Look, got the group rate.
Right.
And then she came, didn't even stay the night. It was just literally like I had got these tickets. She was there. We went to the thing. She flew out. I flew out. We were gone. And she was just like,
talk about, I love it, right? You went with your job, maximizing your job. Because I've done it. I've gone to Chicago. When I go to Chicago, I went to see Hamilton.
Yeah.
Right. I went to New York. I'm popping in things that I wouldn't typically do. I'm going to leverage
while I'm here.
While I'm here, let me be agile and adventurous.
Yes. So also while I was in Las Vegas for work,
tell the people.
Let me show you. What happened was I got an award.
Let the people see.
I got an award.
Tell us about
This is my first award.
Y'all,
like
glass.
Actual.
I see that
this thing will knock somebody out. This is
they come through that door.
This is a weapon.
It is a weapon.
So anyway, I got this award. It is the Software One Women's Impact Award. And it had my name on it. My name is on it.
She has been doing it this year. Okay, so I'm in a season. In your season. Okay, I've been still. Yeah. She has not.
Yeah,
she's been taking classes, courses,
I've been doing too much, y'all.
Volunteering to speak, MC, and look at the fruits of her life.
I got paid to speak for the first time this year too.
What?
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Remember I told you the one place.
Tell me about.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm a paid speaker. See? So it ain't free.
She's official.
No more. But the work I've been doing at my job with DEI, like that's been heavy. And then also with the women in tech stuff, whatnot. So I was so surprised.
I love the video.
I was so surprised.
Your sequence on.
I have my little sequence jacket because our theme was like something sparkling elegance or something like that. So, anyway, go to my Instagram or my LinkedIn and y'all can see the awards.
Car. She got no award. She is out here doing it.
Yeah, God is good.
Okay. Going to see
Silk Sonic. Oh, if y'all get a chance to go see them, I think they extended it too to May.
Okay, so you know what?
Y'all need to go see Silk Sonic. That's one of the best concerts that I ever been to. Okay. Like it was top to bottom. They sang. It wasn't no lip sync and nothing. Live band. They were getting it. It was exciting. I was kind of tired because I had been through it for the whole week with my work.
Voice.
And they turns up. Okay, at Sophomore One. We was at Tao with what's the little football player? He just got married. I just saw the notice because one of them sent it to me. He plays for the Patrick Mahomes. He was there for his bachelor party where we was partying with our president and all them.
What? You don't know? She told me, who is that? Patrick Mahomes. Oh my gosh.
And so it was all kind of folks up there. We shut that place down.
Oh my gosh.
Like it was a whole thing. So I didn't have no voice for like a couple of days.
Okay.
So the episode was it the episode on the styling?
Yeah.
I think the styling or
Latoya.
I can't remember which one, but one of them my voice had just got back. I think it might have been Latoya. When my voice had just got back then because it was gone. It was a lot going on.
Okay.
But anyway.
So those are some of your professional
accomplishments. So those are some professional things.
A new car. You're doing well. Let's talk about share my little highlight.
You have a highlight.
I went to Kickoff for Salesforce in New York, which was a week, and out of over 50,000 employees, they only chose 500. I don't know how your girl got chosen.
How many Black people were there?
That's a good question. How many
people
did you see there?
I'm like, out of 500, let's do the math.
No, 5,000. I'll take that back.
5,000. Okay.
Not 500.
Okay.
Maybe a solid 100.
Okay. Out of 5,000? Mm-hmm.
So it was good to meet people in person. That was my first time at a.
Because you got hired during the pandemic.
I did, and have not met anyone.
Okay, that's a good.
And no one from my team was there because everyone's kind of like globally, internationally located. And then the ones who are here, they didn't want to go. And I went out on a limb and I said, you know what? This is once in a lifetime.
You got to do it.
YOLO. I already had COVID.
Exactly.
Right?
You're like, hallelujah, I done survived.
Exactly. So I was like, I just had it. So I got I may have the immunity.
Yeah.
So, and then we had to test every day. So that was pretty cool.
Every day.
Cool.
Child, we was in Vegas. We had to do nobody did nothing.
And I still wore my mask, but one day we were there in New York is when they lifted the mask mandate.
Okay.
And then while I was there, I was networking. Maybe I networked myself into a couple of interviews. Okay. Because I had already had 2. So I had told myself.
Networking is key, people.
I had already reached out to certain people. They're like, hey, I saw you going to be there. I'm like, hey, you see, I was
Let's meet up.
I saw you on Slack. Cool. Met up, saw people in person. So to put that physical, right?
You have to, the face-to-face interaction.
Face-to-face is important. It so was important. Wonderful. Then I went with the young lady.
Then you met somebody famous.
Girl. So minding my business. Minding my own
Black girl business.
Going to the restroom. So I'm walking to the restroom. This Black guy says, psst. And I was like,
first of all, don't be.
It wasn't like he said, he was like, hey, come here. He's like, hey, come here. And I'm like, who are you? Right. And so we had our badges on with barcodes because I'm telling you, it was strict up in there. Yeah. We had to test every morning and it generates a barcode. And that barcode got you into the convention center.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. So you couldn't get in. If your test was negative,
you're out.
You had to go and get another test to like verify.
Oh, dang.
So I get in and it's only us in there, only our employees. So
you're like, you got to work here.
I'm looking for his badge. And I'm like, so what's your name? He was like, I'm Christopher Gardner. I was like, are you an account executive or a marketing executive? I was like, well, what team are you on? He was like, he's like, I haven't seen a lot of us around here. I was like, well, we're here. Right. Like, he was like, you're the first one. I'm like, really? And so we're chatting. He has this book. And I was like, are you getting ready to give a speech? He was like, I am. I'm like, you have to remember all of that? He was like, yeah, that's what we have to do. And I was like, so who are you?
Right.
I'm still trying to figure out who you are.
Like, what you about to talk about?
He flips the page. It's him and Will Smith. I'm like,
Christopher Gardner.
I was like, Pursuit of
Happiness.
And the killer part was 2 or 3 months before that, we had a team building virtual event. So my boss, who's in the UK, was like, hey, I want you all to, as part of the icebreaker, share with me your favorite movie, 2 Truths and a Lie, right? Or something like that. Guess what the movie was?
Pursuit of Happiness.
Look at that.
Said, serendipity.
Girl. So then as I'm talking to him, I'm getting ready to give my speech. I want you to come in and hear my speech. Now, mind you, I'm not supposed to be there because number one, they have breakout sessions.
And you had a specific one.
My breakout session, we didn't have one that at that time. So I was going to walk over to the hotel. So he said, I want you to come in. Do you know that word that he gave? It was for me.
What God has for me, it is for me.
So I really enjoyed, and I was like, that gave me, number one, I got career clarity. I got confirmation on some things. So yes, I'll share with the people. I had been in my role it'll be 2 years in May. I felt an itch that I was like, I love where I work. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy the company, but I want to do something new. Yeah. And I had already told myself, I'm going to do something new in 2022. And I'm going to tell you, I got a revelation. I started going to Journey and I took this back road and it's this little church house. And on the little, you know how they always have kiosk, it said, God is doing something new. And I kept seeing it, like Kiara shared. I kept seeing it.
Yes.
And I was like, is this for me, Lord?
Take it, receive it.
Is this for me, Lord? And so I started applying at the beginning of the new year. I was like, okay, if I want something new in 2022,
I need to put myself out there.
What do I need to do? So I was always networking. I said, I'm gonna apply for a couple of jobs. I leveraged my little relationships where I was networking internally and had some interviews. So I had the second interview, 2 interviews before I left for New York. And then they were like, hey, we've been moved to the last round of the panel. I was like, what? And now, Mary, let me go ahead and tell you something. I did not qualify. I did not meet everything in terms of job requirements, but I said, I'm doing something new in 2022, even though I don't meet 100%.
And that's kind of what we always talking about is like how we will look at something and be like,
I was like, I don't quite meet it, but
we're going to let them tell me no.
We're going to let them tell me. And even God's going to tell me, like, you're going to be chosen.
He'll shut the door if it ain't for you.
Exactly.
What's for you is yours. Period.
So
she got it.
She got it.
She got it. Hey.
It's an internal. It's a lateral move, but sometimes I feel like you have to go across to go up.
Yeah.
So it's a bridge.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited because it gives me exposure to something new.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a resume builder.
Yes. I love it. When your friends are winning, it should feel
it's the overflow too. You know,
it should feel good for you. Exactly. Cause I'll be like, let me get on. Man. Give me some of that, girl. I love it.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'm excited about that.
Putting yourself out there.
Yeah. And so that's been my professional update. So I'm looking forward to that. And then New York was good. Then I went to Houston to see Maxwell.
Ooh, you never told me how that was. Was it good?
It was good.
I like Maxwell.
I saw him Hamilton and Joe.
Oh, all the guys.
Girl, I was like,
like love on the beach of Jet Black Sand. I saw Jet Black Sand this week too.
I love it.
In California.
I love it. Let's talk about that because I feel like we did our 10-day Mexico trip, which we need to put something on the books.
We do.
For something in 2022.
Yes.
And we talked about it with Carolyn. But I was like, you know what? Outside of that, I really didn't go anywhere much. So as I'm entering this new decade, I'm turning it up. And I might do too much for somebody.
I know I do too much for some people.
And that's okay.
Because there's a way that I like to do things.
So tell us about that because you just came back from a nice trip.
My boys had spring break. And, when I went to Mexico on my own, they were feeling a little salty.
Jamaica.
Where'd I go? Jamaica. I mean, so many countries. No, Jamaica. And so they were like, you ain't know. It's so funny because now they expect to go with me places, right?
Kiara was the same way. And
I just be like, chill. So I was
one ticket is cheaper than 3.
Right. I got to pay for all of us. That's 3 adults.
That's a lot.
On a trip, So I said, we'll do something for spring break. So I had been looking for something to do. And I decided I was searching everywhere, all out the country, all kind of stuff. Like, I want to go to Aruba again. They haven't been there. Take them somewhere that they haven't been, But then I realized that, although they've come with me to California multiple times, like to the Bay, they'd never been to LA and really never seen the coast. And I, growing up in California, had never done the Pacific Coast Highway Drive because we don't ever want to see no scenic route. No. Going from the Bay to LA, you're just trying to get there, so you get there fast, not the one. Like, that's not the fast route. That's the slower route. So we flew to LA. They've been wanting to fly first class. LJ has been wanting to fly first class for a long time. So I was like, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a one-way trip to LA. Then we'll do a one-way from San Francisco to Dallas so that we'll get a rental car. We'll drive up, then we'll see our family and then we'll come back. So that was basically the trip. But come to find out that the Warriors were playing the Lakers that weekend. So I was like, I gotta get a ticket. I gotta get the ticket. So we went to the game.
And y'all, she had good seats. I'm talking about not 300.
Great seats.
Right.
Even Marvin was telling his dad, like, we got back, he was like, we were like in the 8th row up. So it was the best game to go to if y'all saw the game. It was like crazy. LeBron went for 56. It was crazy. So we were rooting for the Warriors, but still, I was rooting for LeBron too. Exactly. So it was like,
LeBron.
Yeah. So it was like perfect. It was exciting. They loved it. It was great. We had our little travel stuff on the way there. It was just heck of stuff where we had to wait heck long. It was just all kinds of stuff going on. Got to the game. That was great. We stayed in LA for like 2 days. So we did the Venice Beach and, showing them Beverly Hills, and the houses and in the hills and all that kind of stuff like that. So they had a blast. Hollywood stars. I was like, this ain't what the TV look. It don't look like what it looked like on TV.
Right.
The homeless people, living everywhere. And I'm like, you need to see like, okay,
reality
right here. You got people in Lambos and then over here, you got people in a tent, it's a good time for conversation too. Like with the kids they always want to know now how much stuff costs and what this was.
And they need to know that,
and learn. So I'm like, this was really good for us to bond. And Marvin had been getting in trouble at school for a while.
So do you feel like y'all had some good conversations?
We did. I mean, I don't know if it's going to change him, but some of the stuff what I learned too was just like who he is. as a person, and he's a lot like me. LJ is also a lot like me, just different parts of me.
You get it from your mama.
So we had a great drive. They thought it was the most beautiful thing because you're literally driving up with water on this side, like mountains over here. And it was just a whole thing. It was beautiful. And then we went up to Pismo Beach. They were on the beach. I didn't want to go on the beach. They kind of made me go because I'm like, we're here. Like, why would I not go on the beach? Like, it was cold. So I was like, I'm not trying to be out here. But they wanted to. So I'm like, I gotta sacrifice.
Girl. Because that's what love is.
My comfort. Because I don't want them to miss out on the opportunity to really, experience.
You could have taken the easier route, right?
Yeah.
And that's what love is. Love is selflessness. And you drove that by yourself.
And I gotta tell y'all, there was some stuff where I was like, I got some old Black mentality that was inside of me that I was feeling it when we were gone, because it was like we were the only Black folks everywhere we were going when it came to like leaving LA. Pismo Beach, wasn't no Black people. And I'm like, they were just so free. They're like, we want to go on the beach. They running, they running. Yes, exactly.
And
they
more ways than one.
They were wanting to run on the beach. They were loud. They're running, doing things. And I'm thinking like, be quiet over here. Don't be having the folks looking over here, And then I mean, but I didn't say it. Like it was in my head, and then I would catch myself because I was like, why they can't be free? Yeah. Why they can't be loud? Everybody else kids running around, like why would I put that on them to feel like they can't? They clearly feel like they can.
Yeah.
So why would I not let them without, I know as Black folks, we'd be like, they need to know that people looking at them a certain way as well as all that stuff. They know that. We have those conversations all the time. But I'm like, I don't want them to be feeling the burden of this all the time. We went to Monterey, went to the aquarium, and they helped me with their freeness, how free they were in feeling like we belong everywhere we're going. It was helping me because I realized that I had some stuff, that was kind of still there. That I'm like, dang, just the fact that I'm thinking about this, that it's in my mind, because that's how it has been. And it's not that we're not that far off from slavery, being a real thing. Or Jim Crow being a real thing.
It's just new. It's new and modern.
And I feel like the way we carry ourselves helps others see that you do belong in these spaces as well. When you walk in like you're supposed to be up in there, they treat you like you're supposed to be up in there, So it was a great time. We had a blast. Got to see my great aunt, who was our only one we got left. She's 94. Aunt Leela. Yes. So she was happy to see us. She already let me know that she was going to talk bad about me if I had came all the way up there and didn't see her. And I was like, girl, I know my family. I ain't crazy.
Exactly.
She's the only one I let put me under that kind of pressure.
And she's an elder, right? So she can't get around.
She forced us to take some almonds with us. I was like, we're good. We don't. She's like, girl, open that bag and put these
old people.
I was like, okay. I told the boys, like, we'll throw it away later. Cause I'm like, she ain't gonna take no for an answer. I mean, that's where I get it from. I was like, woo, I can see that.
It's in your
that
Dana,
blood
Dana,
is there.
Dana,
yes, DNA. Exactly. Anyway, so that was that.
Okay.
We just got back, so I got a good weekend free,
right?
After being with them for a week straight,
And I'm telling you, hashtag Black Boy Luxury. I love it.
Oh, LJ.
She sent me a picture, y'all. Okay, I don't know where y'all.
I feel like I'm gonna post that somewhere.
You need to.
We were at the JW Marriott.
Baby, he was in his white robe, having room
breakfast
service?
Yes. And with the food in his feet were up. I said,
but do you know what I was thinking?
What were you thinking?
When he's an adult, just the standard of what he's going to expect,
and
the things that he's going to want, you have set a standard.
And I told them, I said, how like when it comes to girls,
yes.
Dad is taking his daughter out to the nice place, and you don't want no dude to take you to nowhere trash, and you expect that that's just nice, right? Mm-hmm. I felt that way with them, and I had a conversation because Marvin is the one he cares about how he looks. He wants to be smart. He knows he's smart, and he cares about being smart.
Yes.
Okay.
It's important.
LJ,
we call him professor, or at least I do.
Yeah, LJ is more of a jock. He'll wear basketball shorts every day. Listen. I got to remind him to put lotion on, and stuff like that. But I told Marvin, during this trip, I told myself, during your lifetime, people are going to tell you you're doing too much. They're going to do, because you're going to. Like, I already know, I see him. Like, I see his future. And I said, don't let nobody tell you that you're doing too much.
I love it.
Do your thing. Do it your way. And this is how it's going to be. You know, like, don't let nobody tell you. And I told LJ, don't tell nobody you too basic.
Right.
Because he always be like, you sure you want some of this average person's whatever? Because he always says, I'm just a simple, basic guy. That's what LJ says. And so he makes fun of me and Marvin for being like, I want mine to be the better kind. Yeah. So anyway, so those are just conversations I felt I wanted to have with him, because I'm like, you know, people about, because I be wanting to tell him, you're doing too much, you know. Right. I said, even I will probably say it.
Right.
But don't let nobody shake it, because there's a reason why you feel this way. Right. There's a reason that God puts stuff in your heart for how you feel about stuff. Both Black girls, women in tech, all this stuff, those are passion, purpose things that I can't stop myself from caring about. It ain't like I'm just like, let me go out here and do charity work and stuff. It ain't that. I care. I can't not care.
Right.
Literally, I've been laid off of jobs because I can't shut the hell up about people being treated fairly and stuff like that. I can't stop myself. I'll be like, well, I'm just going to get fired. That's just what it's going to be. I'll sacrifice that.
Wow.
You know, find that thing. What is that thing that makes you mad to tears when when you see stuff happening and you be like, this pisses me, like, I don't like this. You know, it's people who fighting for kids in foster care. It's kids that's fighting, people that's fighting for all these other causes, because it's something that is just
in them.
That is what we need to be leaning more into.
Yes, I agree.
When I'm looking at jobs and stuff too, yes, money is a factor. I need to pay my bills. I got things I'm trying to do.
There are other things that are factors as well.
But I'll be like, I don't love this. If there's something I'm doing, I'm like, I don't feel like I'm, and you may not feel it all the way in your job all the time, but you should feel something that says, this makes me feel this to me.
Yep.
Before the accomplishing my quota and all that, like, that's a part of my job, but this is a part of my job too in the company. I was like, this meant way more to me than meeting my quota. I got acknowledged for going over 100% and all that stuff too. But this was the one that I was like, this is why you're doing what you're doing.
Eyes light up.
This is why you are who you are. That's that's you.
And you got to walk in it too. Cause that speech that Mr. Pursuit of Happiness.
Yes. Christopher Gardner.
It basically was like, don't put limits on yourself and don't let people put limits on you.
Cause they will, because of their own limits.
Yes. Yes. And they will tell you you're doing too much. You shouldn't do this. Sometimes that's noise. And that's noise you have to block out.
And you got to be like, excuse me.
People, what people will also do? They will guilt you.
Oh God.
They will guilt you and say, are you sure that's what you really do? Well, I don't think you should do that. At the end, even like with the job, like I was conflicted.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of conflicted, but at the end of the day, I said, I have to do what's mutually beneficial for him.
Yes.
Right.
Because people are always we're all looking at our lens. So I try to do that with the boys. I'll be like, even when I'm telling y'all stuff, I say, I'm telling you something because of how I feel about it. It's coming through my own personal experience, either because I do know more about this thing and I'm trying to educate you so you don't make the same mistakes.
Yeah.
Or I'm sharing with you based on what I feel. For instance, Christianity, my spirituality, things like that. I share that with them based on my own experience. And I tell them that you got to find your relationship with God on your own. I'm giving you a foundation. But you need to figure out, what does that look like for you? How does that look? You don't have to pray like I pray. You may want to pray doing it this way. You may want to do it this way. You and God might be like, yo, God, what up?
Right. I might do my praying walking.
Exactly. I'm like, you do it however, what makes it work for you in your day-to-day life. But you got to just
talk about that today.
Pastor Darius. I was like, confirmation.
And I just love like how everything to me has been aligning. Right. And it's like, we are not forcing it. Her word of the year.
Yes. Flow.
Okay. And mine is focus. And I feel like I have been focusing and letting things flow. And I stole her word too.
Yeah. I mean, because it goes together.
It does.
I'm like, you know what? We're chilling. I think how we act when you work on self, right? Because sometimes I get into this thing about being a good mom or whatever that looks like. And I'm like, if I just focus on being the best version of Aries, they're going to get the mom they're supposed to get.
Exactly. That is true.
Because I'm being who I'm working on myself to the fullest ability that I can be. And it's going to rub off on them. And that's the mom they're supposed to have. I don't need to focus on being a good mom. I don't do, the things I did with my boys, I want to do. I was doing what I wanted to do, Of course, the game, I knew they were going to want that. I would have wanted to go to the game too, though.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So the hotels we stayed at, all of those are things that I wanted to do.
Yes, absolutely.
So I want you'll learn your own way. Now they could say, they were going, what hotel? Okay, which one did you feel like was the best hotel? Which had the best shower, or whatever, things like that.
It.
But now they can say, so when they go and check into a Motel 6,
they know this is not what I'm used to.
No, and something may trigger them to be like, I need to step my game up financially so I can live a way that I want to live.
You are setting a baseline.
Whatever it takes.
You're giving them experience and exposure.
Whatever it takes. When my 94-year-old aunt, my great aunt, she was like, I love how you expose your kids to things. Like, that is so important to show them.
It's actually more important than things, I feel like.
Yeah, it's like they get to see how people act, how they talk. We go around my family that's in the hood. We go around people who live in their best life, this way. And they get to see all the things. So now you can make your own assessment. Went to UCLA. We did a campus tour. It was like, it was boring. I said, I don't care.
But they'll never forget that.
You've been on the campus now. So if something happens in 5 years where let's say
I've been there,
you can now be like, oh, I remember.
You're bedded it into them, actually.
Yes. So
you're planting a seed.
And we got to do it for ourselves. Yes. Plant your own seeds. You may not have kids. What seeds are you planting for you?
That is so true.
I love to be exposed. I'll be like, now what now? What fork we using?
Yep.
Because I want to know now. Now, once I see it, now I know I can achieve these things.
Yes.
I can, now that I've been a part of it, I'm like, oh yeah, BIP, that's me.
Listen, you have inspired me. So like, we're going on I'll be out of town for a while.
Oh yeah, she gone. I'm gonna be like, what I'm gonna do?
I said, look how God is aligning this right before I go out of town. I was like, she went to Jamaica. So I'm going to Jamaica. I'm taking Kiara to Jamaica.
But that ain't why you going. You going to support.
Yep, for a wedding. But we're going to turn it into a daughter trip.
I love it.
And I think we're going to upgrade. I'm going to do first class for us.
You should.
So, and that's why I say iron sharpens iron, right?
It does.
And
LJ says, on the way back, because he was like, he likes to be all up on each other. That's his thing anyway. So he was like, I mean, it wasn't all that. It was cool, but it wasn't like, he needed to see it because he wanted to see what it was like. And he was just like, I mean, it's okay. So it was cool.
Was first class only going one way?
To LA. Okay. Not back. On the way back, we all just sat next to each other. He could care. It was the same to him.
See, he needed that was
for what he needs, right? But they ain't been on the one where they lay down. Like if we get one of them, it might be different. But but y'all I love y'all. And y'all are cute. They're the mother-daughter, the other part of the inspiration of like when you have a 20-something-year-old daughter that still want to hang out with her mom.
She wants to go to Essence Fest.
Ooh. I feel like I've been to Essence once.
So if you want,
y'all should go. I'm not.
I was like, this is the year. So people might be
I love
it. Y'all,
am I going to be out there? No, I'm going in May.
Okay.
For work.
I'm like, this is the year of doing the most. Like if if the spirit leads me and I have some stash of cash and I'm able to do that, then I'm going to do it.
Listen, and I tell my cash where to go. It is not on accident. I did not go get a new car and just be like, let me go get a new car.
Thank you.
It took months of research.
Planning.
Actually, a year.
See?
Because I was like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take all this time, work on my things, save my money, credit score, refinance the house, like all these things that I wanted to do.
We did this on like together. She was like, I'm going to refinance. I'm working on my credit. So then she inspired me. I was like, well, let me do this. So now we switching and sending each other screenshots of our FICO scores. Like, girl, I done got up to here.
We in there, girl. So that's how, I don't know. That's just the type of energy I need around me, especially right now. Like, I'm like, nah. So yeah, plan your stuff in advance. Plan it out. Plan out what you want. Actually say, this is where I want to be. I just got through having this conversation with my nephew. He works for Tesla in the factory. So I was like, okay, so what's the next job after this?
Right.
Right. Like I just started having and he has a girlfriend. Thank God for the lady he got in his life right now. Because
she's good.
A positive influence on him. She's a registered nurse. She has her stuff together. I was like, don't be messing up.
Good. He needed that.
So yeah, I told him, I said, so now he was like, well, I think I'm going to get trained for this. And I said, why? Is that a part of the next step? Mm-hmm. Like, are you trying to actually, I said, what do you want out of this job? Do you want to actually move up? Or are you trying to just kind of stay,
knowing what you want?
And so I'm like, because then what you want to do is don't just go get trained on the forklift. If that's not helping you get to the next phase, if that's what you want, if whatever you want, find out what the pathway is to that and start that path. Like we make things so complicated sometimes because we'll be over here doing this, doing that, doing this class and all that. And it's like, is it helping you?
What's your ROI?
Yeah, make it make sense because we only got so much time. This time going by fast.
Mathing too.
Yeah, because I'm about to get another certification, which I wasn't going to do, but it's going to help me in my job. So I was like, okay. And they'll pay for it. So.
And that's, see, and sometimes it's just about focusing and flowing.
Yeah.
Buckling down, being still.
Yeah.
It's okay to be still.
Yeah.
I think I do a great job of the balance. You do too, of having that balance. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward to 2022.
And I want to hear from y'all. What are you working on? Yeah. Like what are some of the goals that you put out there? We've kind of documented some things for y'all from us on the podcast. Like if you follow us, regularly, you're hearing our stories about different things, that we're doing, and you're seeing the fruit of it, over time. So we're not just like preaching. This is the really stuff that we're just sharing with y'all what we've done and what we're doing going forward. So hopefully it's an inspiration and makes some kind of, impact in there, and y'all
exactly
somebody
influence to have impact.
Yeah. So we want to hear when something good happens and, the journey along the way. Maybe it ain't all great because it ain't.
It's not.
It's going to be some stuff where you got to maneuver and, get through it to get there. But quitting is never going to be the answer. Right. Like you have to keep it going. So we would love to hear your success stories. We do get people that hit us up and tell us all the great things and be like, oh my God, I love this episode. This helped me so much, stuff like that. But I would love to hear like some specific things that
and share your accomplishments too. Like, what did you accomplish? This is Q1. We still have 3 more quarters to go.
Yeah.
Personally, what we're focusing on for the remainder of 2022 is as we age, we don't want. I don't want to be on it. I don't want medicine. I mean, if I have to have it,
but not because we ain't doing what we need to do.
That part.
And so I'm like, I gotta step it up.
And we talked about your friend, which was a byproduct of my friend Sarah this past Saturday, and just making sure we are going to get our checkups, we're doing the right things, and then that we're living. Because I'm gonna tell you, she took her son on a trip to Mexico.
Who?
Sarah.
Oh, Sarah. She took him on the trip because of
that was a
memory
we'll never forget.
And started doing way more stuff with him intentionally. And that stuff that now he has as a memory that she's gone. You don't know when your last day is going to be. So for me, it's investing in my family, specifically my sons, yes, my other family members.
Absolutely.
As well. But those are the ones I have responsibility over. And on the trip, I was like, I look at them sometimes. I'm like, I really got kids.
I'm still trying to process. I told Kiara, I was like, you're going to be 23. She was like, no. I'm like, yes, it's a new year. I'm like, I can't believe I'm about to have a 23.
You are mine.
I know.
So that part does scare me because I'll be like, am I giving them everything I'm supposed to give? I'll be like, Lord.
Yes, you are. You're doing a wonderful job.
It is.
Her kids got clubs, y'all.
You silly.
I'm sure she's over here already planning for summer camps.
Oh, yeah. That gotta be way in advance.
Our kids got clubs. Let's just say that.
Happening. I need to make sure they got somewhere to go.
Live your best life because we don't know when our last day is.
Live your life.
And yes.
Yeah. We want to hear all the good stories. So turn it in. Message us. DM us on Instagram. Bold Black Girls everywhere. If you're listening to this on the podcast platform, go to YouTube. We are only a couple of people away from meeting our 1,000 subscriber goal on YouTube. Thanks to all of you. So we ask that you would subscribe, like, share, all those good things if you're watching us on YouTube. you can go rate us on iTunes and the other stuff too. You know what I'm saying? But also just share it with a friend and yeah.
Go be great.
Be great.
Most and spring forward.
And have a bold week. We'll see y'all next time.
Peace.